Chair LaMountain and members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. My name is Melissa Cardin. I live in Cranston, and I'm the Executive Director of the Rhode Island Coalition Against Gun Violence. I'd like to note that today, May 14th, it was 3 years ago today that the Buffalo mass shooting took place at the Tops supermarket. So 10 people who went out to the grocery store never came back because a white supremacist armed with a military-style weapon took their lives, and their community is obviously traumatized.
Vanessa, welcome to the Senate Judiciary. Please state your name, and if you're testifying on behalf of a group, please state that relationship as well.
Is this on? Okay. Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I'm just going to jump right into it. Let me start by asking a rhetorical question. Do Black lives really matter, or is this just a trendy slogan? Before writing this testimony, I took the liberty of researching some of the people supporting this bill, and unsurprisingly, many of them proudly label themselves as allies to the Black community and are committed to protecting and amplifying marginalized voices. And yet here I am, a Black resident of the state, feeling neither protected nor heard. Now, before I continue, I must confess that I actually reject identity politics. I don't like being stuffed into an ideological box simply because of what I look like, and I certainly don't appreciate being reduced to a checkbox to fit some political narrative. However, I sometimes have to highlight my identity as a Black woman to expose the hypocrisy of those who frequently pander to people who look like me. So again, how can anyone claim to support the Black community while pushing a bill that would disproportionately harm us? Make it make sense. You see, I've lived in Pawtucket most of my life, and for those of us who actually live here and aren't insulated by gated communities or safe suburban neighborhoods, you would know the effects of crime and violence firsthand, and more specifically, you would know that criminals, by definition, do not follow laws. I find it incredibly telling that the same folks who proclaim Black Lives Matter are the same ones who are quick to use predominantly Black neighborhoods as collateral damage for someone else's political agenda. And here I thought Rhode Island was against systemic racism. But what's more systemic than empowering the state to decide who gets to defend themselves? Historically speaking, that kind of control hasn't ended well. It's a tactic ripped straight out of the playbooks of some of the most brutal tyrants in history: Stalin, Mao, Hitler, Pol Pot. These men disarmed their citizens in pursuit of power, and millions of people lost their lives because of it. The only reason we haven't faced similar horrors in this country is because our founding fathers had the foresight to enshrine the Second Amendment, and it pains me to know that despite how much access to information we have, many would rather choose to ignore history and common sense in exchange for a false sense of security. And by the way, don't let the name fool you. The term assault weapon is designed to scare you into thinking this is just about big, scary weapons of war, but in reality, this ban would target literally thousands of commonly owned firearms that responsible citizens like myself have to use in high crime areas. And it's almost as if proponents of this bill believe that my community is either too naive or too stupid to read the fine print. So let me assure you, we have read the bill and we see right through it. My friends, I don't care about empty slogans or performative activism. Bad ideas have consequences regardless if these ideas are rooted in good intentions. And while many people sitting in this room may not feel the immediate sting of these consequences, this bill would still be gambling with the freedoms that countless Americans, past and present, have fought so hard to preserve. So let me close by going back to my original question. Do Black lives matter? Does our freedom matter? If the answer is yes, then start acting like it. Start by respecting our right to protect ourselves and our families. Start listening to people who live in these communities and not those who parachute in for a photo shoot while pushing policies that they'll never have to live under. Because at the end of the day, no amount of virtue signaling will ever be a substitute for real safety and real freedom. And I refuse to sit quietly while lawmakers trade both in exchange for political wins. So no, I do not support this bill. And if you truly believe that Black lives matter, then neither should you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vanessa.